What's up, everybody? Happy, what the hell is today? Thursday. It's the big thing. Very excited to have you back with us. We've been having a good week, man. A lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of reviews, a lot of TV stuff. Ms. Marvel came out. We'll talk a little bit about that. I got Roxy, Striar, and Sheridan here. And just as you would think, Brett is going to lend nothing to the conversation when it comes to the actual movies, but he will add a lot of humor. And Roxy and I will talk about other things that we like and don't like. I think we're going to be on the same page with Ms. Marvel. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Black Adam trailer. I want to see what she's thought of Stranger Things thus far, Obi-Wan. But the big thing, as you have seen in this, the title of the video, similar to what we did when we did our apparently popular episode of the Top Gun Maverick, is it really that good? This has been titled, Is It Really That Bad? And we're talking about Jurassic World Dominion. That is what Roxy and I will be discussing in full conversation here today. Brett, again, will lend absolutely nothing to the conversation, but we love having him. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification button. Also, we're getting close to 50,000. We got to hit 50,000 this month. Come on. You guys can get us there. We can do it. I know you can do it. Help us do it. Let's do it. And make sure that if you haven't already, subscribe. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. People are always asking, if you can't contribute to the Patreon, how do you help the show? Well, you help the show by going to Apple Podcasts or Spotify and subscribing or following the show. It helps us get great sponsors, and we would love for you to help us out that particular way. All right, let's get into it. A lot to talk about. It's myself. It is Roxy Striar. It is Brett Sheridan. Let's do it, everybody. It is the big thing. Welcome back. One and all in one and fun and done. Nice to have you. I'm very excited about the new quality of the show. Right, what do you think about that,
Look
Roxy?
at that quality.
Look how good Roxy looks.
I am so impressed by you, Kristian.
Why?
Because I don't even know if people realize. I think I started doing Schmoes Know with you 8 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's 8 years.
Yeah.
That was crazy. And you would show up and do your job, but now you're doing like 5 people's jobs.
Right.
You're creating the thumbnails, you're running the board, you're fixing the cameras, you're outsourcing when you need to on FaceTime, but like every time I come in here, there's new improvement, and that's really hard.
It's been a lot.
It's
been
really
a lot.
hard.
But I will tell you that it's also satisfying, right? To know that you have to do it yourself and know you kind of rely on yourself to do it, because with the Schmodown being the big operation that it is, you need a full team. You need everybody to do it. And if you really want to build this thing out, I don't have any more assets to do anything. However, what I will say is a big shout out and thank you to Thad Williams and to Terry Lynn Troxel. Thad came over here yesterday. You notice how spotless the table, and look at the Roadcaster. It's
and there are none of those little floss things on here.
No floss
or roaches anymore. I mean,
Nothing.
it's like you
Nothing.
cleaned it up.
Yeah, well, how long that's going to last, we'll find out. But yesterday they came over and they helped. And Thad, for people who have been asking, they were saying, well, can you upload in 1080? And I'm like, when I figure out how, yeah. And Thad came over and he fixed it up, and now so we'll be in 1080 for sure on every episode. But the thing that I figured out on my own, I don't know how I did that. For the longest time when I was doing the reviews and videos, on the sides here was just this black box, and I figured that on my own, and I adjusted the camera the way it was. But Dad came in here yesterday. Look how crisp and clear that.
It looks really
so good, doesn't it? Look at that. I mean,
yeah.
Look, I'm really loving it. You look great, Rox.
Thanks,
you look
friends.
great. And the red's working for you.
Oh, I
like
appreciate that. I figured that I was going to be a little blurry today, so I didn't put anything on my face.
You're wrong.
And now I'm not blurry. So next time I'm going to do a full-fledged face for you guys.
And this
You're
is just, but I mentioned on Twitter a little while ago that we were starting kind of the new phase of the show, and we were going to start doing the 3 of us more, and we were going to start moving into a studio soon, but we were going to start to design this studio a little bit more. What people can't see, on the far right over there's another camera set up, and that, if you notice, that is going to be our wide shot.
Whoa!
And
There you go.
Brett's back.
We need a wide shot, but the problem is at the moment I don't have the cord to stretch out to get here yet, so we can't do it just yet. But we're ordering the cord, and we're gonna have a wide shot. So then finally, people have been asking for a wide shot forever, so it doesn't just look like the 3 of us are zooming right now. So we're making improvements.
Oh yeah. Do you think most people think we're not in the same room?
I think not as much as when we first started. When we first started, people were like, "Oh, when are you guys gonna get back in studio?" Like we're literally in studio right now.
Come on, people. That's on them.
Get it together. So lots to get into, man. You want to just get right into it, Rox?
I'm nervous, Kristian.
Why are you nervous?
Because I love everything, and I love about myself that I love everything. And when you mention things that I know I'm not ready to talk positively about,
this is one of them.
Yeah, man. I mean, come on.
So let me ask you the question, and as it says on the thumbnail, is this movie that bad?
I liked it least of everybody in the theater. I think
You really hated it. You really hated it.
I really didn't like it.
Yeah.
I hate saying that because I understand that it took 3 years of people's lives to make a movie. Like, who am I to sit here?
Oh, you're a person who watches movies. You're allowed to say whatever you want.
I don't like to dick on people, so But
you didn't like it. It wasn't for you.
The story was not well told.
It's convoluted. It was. Look, here's the thing with this movie. I did not hate it as much as you did, and as far as even answering my own question, is it that bad? No, I don't think it's that bad.
Well, what's that bad?
Like Dear Evan Hansen? Fallen Kingdom. Bad.
Okay.
Fallen Kingdom is.
Try not to spoil it for me. I've seen the first Jurassic Park and none of the other ones.
Right.
You and Steph Sabra both.
Both, yeah.
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here. Get out of here, man. Shit.
So it's Fallen Kingdom is terrible. Fallen Kingdom is there's like a half an hour of good, and then the rest of it is just, oh my God, just hit me over the head with a baseball bat and put me out of my misery.
I disliked this every bit as much
You
as
felt that
I
way.
disliked that.
Okay, see, I didn't feel that way. I just felt that this movie, because I think that what I've accepted about this movie, as I said in my review, it is so far past the magic of the original Jurassic Park, and even I liked the first Jurassic World, 2015 Jurassic World.
I did too.
Didn't mind it. And I think that what they did was, even though it was more of a kind of cotton candy version of the first Jurassic Park, they still tried to get, well, what if the park actually did happen? I liked that premise of it. I liked that idea of it. And then I thought they were going to start to go more so down like the Planet of the Apes and make it a little bit more serious and take a little bit more of the horror elements they did. And instead, well, let's take all the legacy characters back. Smart, get people into the theater. But then let's just go even more so into this science fiction monster movie where people can choke dinosaurs and hit dinosaurs and fight dinosaurs and train dinosaurs. And even Jeff Goldblum at one point says, "You're talking to a dinosaur." And you and me both, Jeff. We're feeling the same way.
It felt like a Fast and the Furious movie, but with dinosaurs appearing, and that's what I said walking out. I heard other people say it felt like Godzilla v Kong.
Yes.
Like, there was,
it's a monster movie.
To all of it. I think what really, really hurt me in this situation was that the night before I watched Jurassic Park. I rewatched the first Jurassic Park, and that movie is just truly brilliant. Like, it's just one of the greatest movies of all time. Everybody knows that. If you watch Jurassic Park and you don't like it, you have a problem.
It's magic.
It's beautiful. It's magic, and the looks hold up in a way that movie looks better than this movie does. The dinosaurs look better than this movie does. It's so incredible. So then when I go to this theater and to see this movie and to have all three of our main leads back and to just have it be such a dud, I was like, what a want. And it's also 2.5 hours long.
It's too long. Way too long.
It's long.
Way too long.
It drags. And there's even we go to different cities. We're all over the world. Like, there's multiple car chase or vehicle chase scenes. I was like, what is this movie? Because it's not a Jurassic Park movie.
It certainly felt like a monster movie. And I didn't mind any of the performances. I actually thought there were some pretty good new performances of some of the new characters that came in.
Kristian.
What? Performances? Who was bad? I'm not talking writing. I'm talking performance.
I'm talking chemistry. Do you believe that Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard make love? Because I certainly don't.
Well, again, that's not necessarily performance, though. That's
chemistry is performance, man.
But there's writing also what you're given. If you're given crap material that you can't connect with, and it's like, hey, now you need to kiss. Why? Because you're a couple. Okay. I actually didn't mind them, again, as much as you did. I thought they were pretty, like, when he said to him, you guys seem like you'd be pretty good parents or whatever. I bought that. I liked that. I thought that the character of Maisie this time around she's good. She was better. Her story, I liked the way they played her story better and ultimately what it turned into, but they just try to do too much with this franchise. It's like the franchise is built to be simple. It's built to be simple in the first movie. They try to make dinosaurs. They make dinosaurs. They bring them back, and things go amok. That's it.
What do you think was at the core of this movie? Like, if you were in that pitch meeting and they're like, "This movie is," what was that?
Well, we got to go bigger now, and the whole thing is now that we've gone to the cloning aspect of what happens in that last movie. Now there's got to be more corruption inside of what happens. It's always corruption, and it's always more so of the second this thing, without spoilers, the second this thing starts, you're like, oh, that's the bad guy.
Yeah,
you don't even have to wait for the reveal. You know right away.
Job, though.
He was fine, but the second he's like, okay, well, he's going to be the bad guy, and then that person's going to help. It's about as predictable as it gets. But it was so set up after that first movie where they were going to use the dinosaurs as weapons and things like that, but then how that could go wrong, and then it's like if they would have started out, it opens up in this like. You just see them living like the electricity is starting to go out, and they're and they have to. It's like Land of the Lost. They got to live out in these parts of the world where even if they have to go in, like Walking Dead, they got to go into the stores and they got to get food. But in order to do it, you got to get past like the raptors. And now the dinosaurs don't even care about the people anymore.
No, they don't.
They ignore them for food. They're fighting each other and they don't even care.
There's one part where there's just no humans even in it, and we're just watching dinosaurs. And I was like, wait, so what is at the center of this? And also the stakes were very low the entire time because we're bringing back 3 legacy characters, and you never feel like those 3 legacy characters are at risk.
No.
You know that they're back, and that means that they're back. So I just felt like in the original, what they did so brilliantly and why it's such a lesson in screenwriting is that every few minutes the stakes are upped, and there's a new scenario that we have to get out of. There's a new conflict you have to figure out your way out of. For this, I never felt at risk. I never felt
there was no emotion to it. There was no emotion to it. There was no heart to it at all. And as I said before, there was just too much. There was way too much. Like, I don't know. I don't want to say they tried too hard to go to over. What's the word I'm looking for? It was too complex and
overpacked.
It was over. But they were just trying to do too much, and it was like. Why are you stacking so many things up? And like, it just, I don't know. And like I said this to you when I was coming out of the theater. I did not hate watching this movie. Like I had to rewatch Fallen Kingdom again. And
you did?
Yeah, we had to do it we did it for the rewatch series. And it was like going to the dentist. It was like going to the dentist. And I really, really did not like that movie. This one, like, did you notice there were some parts though, because Colin Trevorrow was supposed to do the last Star Wars movie, and then he was canned from it, right? There's a scene in this movie where, because the dinosaurs
he wrote it, right?
I believe he co-wrote it also, but there's a scene in this movie, he directed it, in this movie where the dinosaurs now, they're kind of being black marketed and stuff too, and there's a scene where they're all, I don't know whether it seemed like they were in a cantina, and it seemed like that the actual dinosaurs were now just like, the same way you'd walk in and see like some kind of creature in Star Wars. That's the way the dinosaurs were used. And it was, and like I said, there were sometimes you see that scene that they show in the trailer where the T-Rex comes in and he eats the guy in the middle of wherever the hell they are. I thought that type of stuff was going to happen more. Like I'm telling you, there's so many times when our heroes are in risk and the dinosaur's like, nah, I'm not going to eat you. Why? I'm not in the mood.
Yeah.
It's like they're animals, they're dinosaurs, they would eat your face.
In good news, I would watch Laura Dern watch paint dry.
Yeah.
She's
great.
She's so great. And our original characters are great. It's also still a dinosaur movie. So there are
dinosaurs. Is it though?
Well, there's a lot of dinosaurs in the movie.
So what I was told what's funny about that is I had heard things about this movie before I saw it. And I was like, and someone had told me, it's not really about the dinosaurs for a lot of it. It's about bugs. And I'm like, what? and as much as it's not...
That's true.
As much as there is a lot of the bug stuff, there is dinosaur stuff. I thought there was going to be no dinosaur stuff, but there's dinosaur stuff. But but again, they're just kind of like in the background, and it's like...
That's a shitty idea. Let's do a dinosaur movie
with bugs.
With some bugs. And let's not focus on the dinosaurs so much.
No, let's focus on the bugs.
Series.
I can't give spoilers, but the absolute dumbest plot line in the movie has to do with this a certain dinosaur being at risk. and what
Oh,
we
yes.
do. Okay. Oh my
Yeah.
God! I wanted to put my head through the wall. The stupidity, you know, when just for plot's sake, they'll have characters do something, and you're like, no one would do that.
There's a lot of that
one.
happens every 7 minutes in this movie.
Yes. So frustrating.
Yeah, so I think that's the thing with this movie. You look at overall, it's too long. There's no heart, there's no emotion to it. It is convoluted, and it unfortunately probably should be the end of this franchise. Even though they say it is, it won't be.
So what's next, Kristian?
What
are we gonna do?
What we should do, if they're gonna do another one, is the same type of thing. Take a note from Top Gun Maverick, right? So how much do you think Top Gun Maverick cost to make as a movie, right? So this movie probably cost
$300 million, wasn't it? Like,
no, not that much.
With marketing and everything, I think that's
just the production.
Oh, I
budget.
think it was half that, 150.
Yeah.
It was about 170.
170.
Right. So that's a lot of money for a movie. However, it doesn't. Even though it's a big movie, we know overall that it's probably that much from what they did with the practical effects and how they had to do everything. But it doesn't feel like when you think of the traditional $200 million movie. Top Gun Maverick doesn't feel like that, because they scale back on practical effects. You understand when you hear why it's 170, you go, yeah, well, that makes sense. And they made their money back. And the idea of kind of scaling down and going back and playing what they did so well in that movie was the emotion. Because in no world should Top Gun Maverick be one of the best movies of the year. In no world.
Is the best movie.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen everything.
I did. I stayed to watch it.
Was it
That's
great?
what I did. It was awesome.
But not better than Top Gun
It
Maverick.
is the second best movie of the
Okay,
year.
so I need to see. You did see it. That's great, though. So now.
Wow, you still haven't either?
Still haven't
I
seen
can
it.
tell you. I'll talk about it after if you want.
I don't want you to yet. I want to know.
will not talk about it
I want to know.
afterwards.
I want to know nothing, because I really want to see that movie, and it's still in the theater. I might sneak out to see it. I'm going to see Lightyear. Well, I probably have seen Lightyear already from the time this is
I
aired.
think you're going to like it as much as I did.
Remember,
which
I'm
is-
a multiverse parallel
I know.
universe
So,
junkie.
Me too.
Okay.
I think you're gonna like it as much as I did, which is love it. But
Yeah.
I don't think you're gonna love it the way you love Top Gun.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard, but that's my point, though, with like taking that emotion and putting that in, and like it's not just about seeing the legacy characters together. Because if it was just that, and if we would just mention Goose and it's just plain fights the whole time, it doesn't hit the same way. Like when you care about the story, you can
Ghostbusters.
yeah, see, we're on a different page with Ghostbusters Afterlife. We're on a very different page.
Oh.
Because you hated it.
No, I didn't hate it, but
Oh.
you that worked for you.
I liked it a lot, and I
Oh,
think that
okay.
and I think that it was also because
it wasn't a bunch of broads.
Yeah, totally.
That
I
was
was like, I love
that's the one clip they're
everything.
gonna cut out for you. That's the one clip that you're gonna
Wait,
make
say
you're gonna
more
make your
things.
steak
That'll
on it.
save me.
Say more
That's
things
it.
about broads.
Yeah,
What
that's
else you got?
That's it.
I didn't even know that Afterlife one came out. That's how I'm with it. I'm just here to piss off the fans.
It works. I like it. But no, it's a. I like the emotion inside of that at the very end. To me, did work, and I thought that they played it at least. To me, I thought Afterlife worked way better as far as connecting legacy characters and connecting story together than this.
I was excited about it when I saw the trailer 3 years ago.
What,
I mean,
for Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
I can borrow it.
We had Halloween Kills, we had another Scream,
I
we
want
had
Kills.
Ghostbusters, and we had
Top Gun.
this, and we had Top Gun. Obviously, Top Gun being the best of those.
Easily.
But what's at the bottom for you? This?
What was you mentioned?
It's Halloween Kills.
That one.
Oh.
Halloween Kills is one of the worst movies
So
I've
you
ever
thought
seen.
that was worse than Jurassic World Dominion?
Easily. Like, so Halloween.
I did not think that.
Oh, see, to me, Jurassic World Dominion, I can watch. I can watch that again. If I had to, it's 2.5 hours, but I could watch it again. I don't ever want to see any, and I liked the Halloween remake in 20 or sequel in 2018. I liked that movie, and because of it, it's the only reason that I want to see the third movie. Because if it was a third movie anywhere comparable to that last piece of shit, I wouldn't be anywhere near it.
Halfway through Jurassic World Dominion, Steph turned over to me and said, "Evil dies tonight," and I was like, "Yup, yup."
You want to hear something funny though? Like after this movie, let me set up beforehand. So I get there, and I'm there. I took Winston because we did the rewatch series, and we're gonna do a spoiler discussion with myself and Coy and him for Monday, and then Andrew Guy and Ellis were there as well. So we sat with them. We saw the girls, but they sat in a different theater. So Ellis is like, yeah, you want some treats? They give free popcorn. Anytime they give free popcorn, you're in trouble.
Yup. Cats.
Yeah. Anytime they give free popcorn, you're in trouble. They want to fatten you up, and they want to get you all. Oh man, they gave us treats. Has to be a great movie. It's never good. When they charge you $75 for a bucket, it's going to be an Oscar winner. But when you get there, they like, well, what do you want? Besides the free popcorn. And I said, well, if they have the pretzel bites, because they have not had the pretzel bites at this AMC for quite a while.
Months.
However, I think that we were wrong because I don't think they've had the upstairs. I don't think has had it because that's where we've been watching screenings. Downstairs is where to go. So I'm eating the pretzel bites. Roxy and Steph come out of the theater, and not only have they just been punished for 2.5 hours watching this movie, they now say like, pretzel bites. I go, I just had delicious pretzel bites. They were really good, and the face on these two.
I thought you were
stopped.
lying.
Yeah, they thought I was lying. Like, stop it.
Here's what happened in my life.
Yes.
I, for the last 30 years, have been going to the movies and have been very satisfied eating candy. I'm a Skittles, Sour Patch Kid girl, and I've been very happy with that. About 2 years ago, Steph Sabra and I started frequenting the movies more often, and she introduced me to the cinnamon sugar pretzel bites. It changed my world and my viewing experience.
Yes.
And so now, instead of getting candy, I'm locked and loaded with the pretzel bites. But for the last several months, they have not been there.
Oh, so you've just been, you're like teased this wonderful magic, and then it's taken away from you.
And every time, it's still on the fucking rotating sign, above, and it's still listed. So every time I go and I order it, they say they don't have it. And every time I go, no, you gotta be kidding me.
Right.
You gotta be kidding me.
Not this. So
Where is it?
But you did something I don't ever do. And which is great. I'm not faulting you for this. I think this was a ballsy move and a good move. The movie was over, and you went back to get them.
Yes, I did. Yes, I most certainly did.
I like that.
Because I heard they were there, and what if that's the last opportunity I ever
you
had
never
in
be
my
able to
life?
get them. Yeah, but I don't think you will. I just think you got to go downstairs to get them. See,
But
and
why
I
would
realized
they tell you that upstairs, Kristian?
Well, these people don't care. You think they care about you?
I
They want to. They're in there to clock in, and then they're going home, or they're going to watch a free movie, and they're going to.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Even to shut me up.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Brett. But show me what you think happened.
Yeah.
Right.
What can I get for? I'm just wondering. Okay, you guys had these pretzel bites, and now you don't have them. Like, what's up with that? I don't care.
Why do I feel like you're just basically doing CPK?
Yeah.
You're basically doing what you did at CPK all the time.
I don't care about anything that you care about.
By the way, were you there when Carlin used to come in?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Used to see him when
Riley and I, he would come into the takeout line a few times.
No
He
way.
did the funniest thing. He did something like the bill was like $13.73, and he goes $13.73, great year.
Yes, that's what Riley said. He said, "Good year."
Good year.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Did you watch the doc?
No.
I haven't. That's on my. Yeah, I've tried to get the wife to watch
Dad,
it.
you got to go without. I have a lot of other things I want to talk to you both about because there's a lot of things I have been watching. I watched some movie last night that I'm sure you've seen, but I didn't. It was out months ago. This Deep Water with Ben Affleck.
I didn't watch it.
Holy shit! This is something.
It's something good?
No.
Something bad?
But it's one of those movies that my wife and I were like, we just want to watch a good bad movie. And we found one.
So it was a good bad movie.
It's a good bad movie.
Yeah.
Like it's not, but it's like, yeah, like people's asses are getting kneed out. There's murder. That's how
Ana de Armas
that's
one?
how you pitch. Yeah, that's how you pitch it. By the way, so you start with an ass eating. It doesn't start with it, but it's at one point. But it's an absolute. It's something. I'm going to spoil it for everybody. Because it's
the ass eating.
Is it a spoiler type movie?
Yeah, it's really dumb. It's like, so I'm going to spoil that movie first when we come back. But before I do that, I have to tell you about Storyblocks, and that people have been using it. I was talking to Thad about it yesterday because he's. I was like, how familiar are you with Storyblocks? Oh, I love Storyblocks because. If people don't know what Storyblocks is, Storyblocks, it exists to help you guys bring all your stories to life without sacrificing your vision, whether it's time, budget, resources. Every creator should have a Storyblocks membership because video is the most effective way to capture an audience's attention, and as a result, modern storytellers, they are challenged with creating more video content at a higher quality, involving more voices in the process, and distributing on more platforms than ever before. and some of the problems that creators face, whether it's meeting output demands, time, budget, knowledge, creative inspiration, path. Yeah, take the path and get yourself to Storyblocks. But no, you need your passion, and you don't want to have to get burnt out, because that can have an impact on your mental health. Trust me, I know. Storyblocks makes it possible for creators to keep up with the growing demand for modern video content, so you can bring all your stories to life and stop sacrificing your vision, whether it's time, budget, or resources. It changes the face of stock footage with more diverse and inclusive content in their library to help creators continue to tell their unique and authentic stories. Stock is their commitment to increase representation in stock media by hiring creators from marginalized communities to create content that is more reflective of the diverse world that we live in. So you go to storyblocks.com/bigthing. You check out Storyblocks and sign up for their unlimited all-access plan. Once again, that is storyblocks.com/bigthing. And not only are you going to help yourself out by helping your video content, yet again, you want to know how to help out this show? Check out all the sponsors that we have and get yourself that link. Go to the storyblocks.com/bigthing. Check it out and come back and tell me what you thought about it. All right, I'm going to spoil this stupid movie.
I don't know.
You don't want me to spoil it?
I don't know.
Is this I saw a clip of Ben Affleck, and this could have been a different movie, but it was him going, I'm going to ask you to do something, and I'm not going to tell you what it is, but you've got to do it. And he goes, and the guy goes like, he's like, whose car are we taking?
No,
that's something else.
No, this is.
I thought you were going to say, eat my ass.
That's the clip. That's the clip people are going to take for you now. You got his clip in the beginning.
Done.
Yeah. Now
What's up with these broads?
Yeah.
Eat my ass.
that's the name of the movie.
more.
That's the name of the movie. Unbelievable.
You can spoil it, but I'm going to try to zone out.
No, because I want you to be part of the conversation. So we'll just wait until you see it, if you ever see it.
Well,
But
did
it's
you
like-
see?
so here,
Did
I'll
you
give a
see
breakdown.
Never Again? Okay, one more time.
The hell is that?
That's the new Woody Allen movie.
Oh,
It's got
okay.
it's got Armie Hammer in it. It's got Kevin Spacey.
What was the name of the movie?
Never again, one more time.
What's that about? Tell me what that's
No,
about.
it's
Go ahead, tell me what that's about.
it's a buddy cop film.
Is it? Oh yeah, I heard about that. And I think it's directed by Roman Polanski.
Yeah, it's
right?
Roman Polanski.
Oh, Woody Allen and Roman Polanski.
yeah,
Oh,
produced
they
by Harvey
they
Weinstein.
co-directed it.
Damn. And sorry, what was Kevin Spacey's role?
he's the bad cop naturally.
Right. And they call him the master of dreams.
And what about Army? What is
Armie Hammer's he's the good cop.
The
but
butcher.
He's not
Oh.
really the butcher.
Wow.
Keep a straight
You
face.
can't on that. That was good.
he? He never again, one more time.
Never again. Okay, one more.
He needs some milk.
That was good. All right, listen to this stupid movie. So it happened during the pandemic. They started. So it was like there was setbacks. It was a novel based on. It came out like in the 50s. This novel.
Sexy novel.
I guess. I don't know if they I mean, the movie is, but I don't know if
They were eating ass in the 50s?
No, but I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if
That wasn't canon.
Yeah, it wasn't canon, and they were doing it. It just wasn't public. It wasn't on Twitter yet. But either
You think so?
yeah, people were doing filthy shit back then.
People
It's just
did filthier shit in
like the-
Greek times
yeah,
than
man.
anybody could imagine. You're like,
What do you think happened in the Roman times and then just stopped?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. It just feels like eating ass is on an uptick.
I heard they had things called peg boys, that guys that would sit on boats. I'm not shitting you. Look it up. And they would sit to keep their asses ready for business. I'm not shitting you. The Greeks were filthy animals.
Where'd you hear about the peg boy?
I don't know. When you're
That's what they called them.
Storyblocks, the new peg boys.
we didn't even have the internet. We heard about shit like this. It's just like ready to go.
He's just waving like this.
Man, I'm this boat ride is getting long. Where's the peg boy?
But also, like, how ready do you have to be? You have to just stay sitting there? Like,
I
it doesn't take
guess.
that
This is
long
like a
to
marketplace?
drop trout. Yeah.
Oh my God. Anyway, so this movie.
So they probably did it in the 60s.
I would assume so. But no, it's like they definitely had a lot of liberties with this movie and stuff, but it's so bizarre. The movie is so bizarre. It's like, so Affleck has made his money the character's made his money off of selling the chips that help drones find people to drop bombs on and shit, right? And that's how he's made his money. So him and what's her name,
Anna Darmus,
who is one of the most beautiful women in the world.
alive, yeah.
So they were dating for a little bit.
Yeah.
These two, and that's so we met on this thing.
Now he's with that Phil. Phil Pay. What's that broad's name, Roxy?
Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah. Oh, what a piece of shit she is.
Thank you.
Old broad.
The contribution today.
People that were wondering why he's on the show.
You think he leveled down, Brett?
Yeah, he's
tough to look at.
leveled down.
She's tough to look at.
A little hard on the eyes, but
tough.
must have a great personality.
Maybe she's a peg boy, you know? We don't know.
Yeah,
Dude.
we all need one.
We don't need it.
Bring it back.
Where's Amazon when you need them?
Bringing Peg Boys back.
Peg boys. Peg boys, where they're coming to you.
Sweet makes microchip.
You told me your title.
Never again, all at once. Peg boys.
Never can. Okay, one more time.
Peg boys.
Exactly. So this is my favorite. So this is hilarious. I just got a text, and it says, "Good morning, Gally.
Yeah.
This is Emily.
Yeah.
This is my other phone. I just changed my phone." Follows up, Gary? Question mark. What in the world? I'm gonna write something ridiculous. Let's see what we come up with. Hey, comma, have you seen the new film on Netflix, Peg Boys? Question mark. I don't know if it's gonna do what I thought it was gonna do, but if it does, comma, man, is this thing gonna turn heads? Period.
Incredible.
Let's see what she writes back. Okay.
Turn heads
Turn heads.
and butts.
Holy shit. Turning heads and turning butts. This summer.
In a world.
So anyway, he makes all his money with doing the drones and with all that, and then she.
Oh my God! I just had
We're still
idea.
talking about the movie.
Holy shit.
I got to get through this. But they're married and they have a kid, and they go to these parties. The just normal parties, whatever, and so he's just there. He's there with his wife, and she just starts fawning and fooling around with some dude right in front of him, and he's just watching. It's not like a voyeur or anything.
Oh,
Just
it's
kinda-
like a swinger party.
That's what we thought, but it isn't.
Oh,
It's just him. That's what his wife does. She just bangs dudes. And then so he says to this guy at one point, he goes, "Hey,
what are you gonna do?"
He goes, "Hey, listen, just to let you know, I see you kind of haven't." He's like, "I just think it's pretty cool. You let me hang out with your wife." He's like, "Yeah, just to let you know that she had another friend like you, and I killed him." And he's like, "Wow, that's not funny, man. You're joking about your wife." He's like, "Yeah, it's not funny, but it's true." And then you're like, "Well, is it true?" He's like, "I'm just kidding with the guy, blah 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 blah." But the guy starts telling other people about it, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm just kidding." And then you got to figure out whether or not he is, and you figure out whether he is or he isn't.
so he obviously is because otherwise.
Either way, but
He's
like
no
so,
movie.
so things are happening throughout it, but it's like it starts weird, ends even weirder, and is some stupid stuff going on at one point. You're like, well, wait a minute, why is that person even there? Or this, it's a dumb movie,
But sexy.
it's sexy because she's sexy, and I guess Ben's doing all right for himself, and it's like like she is. Yeah, there's some really filthy shit going on in the movie. Like at one point, she's with some dude in the car. She just like spits on her hand, starts jerking the guy off, and you're like, oh, there you go. That's something.
Did the movie Duo?
No, I mean, I don't know. It's a Hulu movie. It was Hulu.
Now
it
will.
It was straight for Hulu. So
That review.
what a review. But either way,
Have you heard about the Mormons that put a lawn
is this real?
notes? I'm not shitting.
What is it? What
Somebody
is it?
was talking about that Kingdom of God.
I want you to host this show today. So tell me.
My friend was telling me, and his wife were telling me about the new one with Andrew Garfield. It's a show.
Oh yeah, about the missing kid. Yeah.
And they got down this rabbit hole of like Mormon
Under the
swingers.
eyes of God or something.
Yeah,
Under
yeah.
the eyes of heaven.
Eyes of Heaven or Eyes of God, but
It's on my phone.
yeah, it somehow, and I don't think it had anything to do with the show, but there was like this group of swingers in the Mormon community. If you have a garden gnome in your front yard, but that means you're a swinger.
Oh, really?
Under
And
the
they're
banner
but they're
heaven.
soft swingers, which means it's just kissing and stuff like that. There's no sex. But I also learned about something
What? Tell us.
called soaking.
Soaking. Listen.
This is a Mormon.
Are you loving?
Is that
are
like
you,
floating?
Wait,
Yo, the
wait.
Mormon shit is fucking nuts. Are
This
you
is
talking
where
about
you-
floating?
Well, this
With
is where
your
you
dick?
just well, this is you just insert
Sorry,
it and you
wait,
stay
wait,
there.
wait, floating, bro.
Wait, no,
That's
wait,
fucking
wait,
floating.
Tell us first, and then
Okay,
Roxy,
you
then
do-
you comment after us. Go
I'm
ahead.
guessing floating is a step below.
Just tell us everything.
So, anyway, okay, the gnome thing led to like this family going over and mistakenly going to this new person in town's house. Ended up they're not swingers,
Right.
But then they tell me about the soaking thing where it's teenagers, I guess, and they just insert the male inserts himself into the woman,
Yeah.
and they just sit there.
They don't do
They
anything.
don't do
They don't
any
move.
grinding whatsoever.
Yeah, no, I heard all about this. Okay, I have been going to the same hairdresser for a really long time.
That's an opener.
And the girl next to her, the hairdresser next to her, and I talk all the time because I go there so often. And she used to be Mormon. So she tells me about all this fucking stuff. That's the same thing. It's called, in her Mormon community, it was called floating. And it's because you're not allowed to have sex, but they believe sex to be the act of back and forth.
Oh.
And so you are allowed to insert and float.
So
That-
just
you
stay there
stick-
like you're. Isn't that docking?
That's different.
Yeah. Floating, soaking, docking, man.
Docking involves different.
Were you docking what, with your balls or something?
Docking is. My mom.
How do you know it? Your mom knows about it?
No, she's gonna go. What the hell? What are you doing with your mom?
This
Docking my mom. Come on,
Tell
man.
us about docking. bro.
Docking is two penises, I heard, where one is uncircumcised and it goes over. Boys are nasty.
I love that this is what you studied in college.
Why does that have to do with your mom?
No, I'm just thinking
Your
every
mom's
time
gonna
I say
listen
shit
to it.
like this, like my mom's gonna watch this and go like, "Oh, that was interesting."
How'd you learn about docking?
Just kids, man. I mean,
You just pay attention to all
So
this
how are
stuff.
you getting the
boys
you're
just want to learn the dirtiest shit, and you'd go to the library or whatever, and yeah, you'd find out. Docking.
You were
was
like
just
one of the
word
first
mouth.
people that ever found out about a filthy
Yeah,
snitch,
yeah,
huh?
felching and.
What are you doing with the you're like, how are you docking? You're just holding
I think
it?
you're just. You remember those toys that were like a balloon, but you went like this, and it kind of slid through your hand because it was a balloon, but it was like. I don't know how to describe it.
It's
It was
almost like sand inside, so it kind of.
It was like a sea potato looking kind of a thing. And if you went like this, it would slide, but it never ended because the balloon, I don't know how to describe it, but basically
You're doing a great job, actually.
You're taking the foreskin over the other one, and you're just kind of
Back and
and
forth.
that, and that was
not unlike Roxy's idea of giving armpit chops.
Yeah. Oh, well, I think that still sticks. That was an SEN thing.
an armpit job.
Yeah. Well, I was
I don't know
just
if I
curious.
want to know about this.
Oh, all right.
Oh, you're just curious about what? You just lock
Well,
on?
just because it's always wet under there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's probably not a great. I mean, I don't know. You got to be deodoranted up if you want to go near mine.
I don't think you want the deodorant. That would be like uncomfortable.
Well, I don't want. I don't know.
Sweat?
Yeah, I don't want this. Nah. All right, listen.
Let me.
What if it was like Jennifer Lopez though, and she offers you an armpit job?
True.
Come on.
1990 Julia Roberts. Maybe I'm in.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
I'm in. Okay, moving on because this movie on Hulu. This is the gold.
Oh yeah, we're back on the.
Nah, we can move. We can move past it. I am watching.
What was it called?
It was called Deep Water.
Deep water.
I will.
Do you know why?
Yeah, I mean, when you watch the movie, it kind of makes sense. Not really.
They're
but
in deep water.
but I will say, I posed a question the other day about what you.
He puts the bodies in water that's deep.
Stop this. What you thought was the better series right now? Now you have 4 episodes into Obi-Wan, and you have about what is it 8 or I think it's 8 episodes of season 4 of Stranger Things.
7.
Is it 7?
I'm pretty sure it's 7
7 or 8?
because there's 2 more left.
Okay.
Let me look.
Either way, Stranger Things, and it's probably not a fair question to ask because Stranger Things has 4 full seasons and Obi-Wan is 1 season in. But if you just look comparing season 1 4 episodes into Stranger Things season 4, and it's just those 4 episodes. Have you watched any of the Stranger Things?
I have not, but I watched 1 episode of Obi-Wan last week.
Which one? The first episode?
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Yeah. And I'm trying to get my wife and son to watch it with me. I might just finish them because I don't know if they're going to do it.
So I would say as much as I have been looking forward to this Obi-Wan series more so than I was even looking forward to Force Awakens or anything else.
Yeah.
Because I thought this was going to be like the full-on prequel. I do enjoy the series. It's not the series I'm not feeling the same way I hoped I would, and I would be silly to say that if you look at comparing the 2 series right now, Stranger Things is just on a different level. The production of it, they're putting out an hour to 10-minute episodes each one. The detail on each, the last episode of Obi-Wan was 30 minutes. And you're trying to tell this whole complex story. Vader and Obi-Wan wasn't even really a big, it's for like 2 seconds. It's like not really the big focus of the show. And a lot of the same, like we talked about episode 4, it's like there's a particular thing without spoilers. You can see the spoilers and the stuff that we did on Sith and the other thing, but they do this one scene like 4 times in the show, and there's some good stuff in the episode, but it was kind of it's not hitting the way that I kind of hoped it would.
I put out a tweet yesterday, legit asking the same thing, but including the boys, because to me the boys.
I haven't
is
seen
maybe
any
the
of the
best
boys ever.
Kristian,
I know.
holy shit!
My friend
it's
produces
so
it.
good.
Yeah.
Oh my god, your friend's a legend.
She's
Ben.
awesome. Yeah.
The show is so good, especially the 3 episodes of this season are phenomenal. But I feel like recency bias in terms of Obi-Wan. If you would ask me last week, I would have said more positive things because I thought episode 3 of Obi-Wan was like out of the park, incredible.
Yeah.
Episode 4 was just fine. And Stranger Things, the season 4 was excellent. Or
Oh,
at
you
least
watched the
what
whole
we've
thing?
seen. Yeah, and there's 7 episodes.
Okay.
And it is super scary, really on point. We can tell you they're going to close it out well in the next 2 episodes for this season. And I just think it's really great. So you're absolutely right. The comparison is just not there.
It's just not fair from from the build up and everything that you've been able to spend all the time with these characters. And granted, you spend a lot of time with Obi-Wan over the course of 40 some odd years or 45 years, whatever the hell it is. So it's, but still, it's different. And there's a lot I like about the series, and I enjoy watching the series. And I'm definitely not like a lot of these people who are just hating it and saying all these things. I do think.
Is that the common?
I think that not common. I think that it's half and half, and I think that there are people who have legit concerns and critiques about it. Then there are people who are just going to hate on no matter what Disney Star Wars puts out. They're just going to shit on it because, and there's until someone moves on or something else happens, they're always going to give a negative light to it. There are those pockets of people too, but that is not to say that the people who don't have legitimate gripes about the show aren't right. There are certain things that I think in this show aren't working. There are other things that I think are working tremendously.
What is your biggest gripe with the show?
I think that right now tropes are my biggest concern, and seems to be I think that they're setting us up for the same thing they've done a million times over, whether it's Star Killer or Anakin or Kylo. Here's the bad guy, but it's not really the bad guy. He's going to be the good guy at the end. Reva is set up to be the good guy.
Who's Star Killer?
It's Sam Witwer in the Force Unleashed video game, but it's like
Isn't he named Darth Maul?
He's also Darth Maul, yes.
Oh.
But the character Star Killer was, designed, looks like him, like everything. Although it's a whole other story. Anyway, so that is, I thought she was much better in the last episode. I still think that, and I don't blame Moses Ingram for it. I don't think the character is written very well. And I think that there's other things, and again, I guess, if you've been watching, if you don't want to watch, there'll be time codes in here. I'll give you just a brief spoiler. You've already seen episode 1, so I won't spoil. I think that, and I love the girl who plays Leia. Love her. I think she's fantastic. I think they're spending way too much time on Leia and I'm not one of these people who are like, they're negating everything that happens in the new trilogy. There's some things that they do in this episode that completely go, well, wait, she's already been through that before, then she shouldn't be as devastated when this happens. I mean, because this episode 4 was basically just a big homage to New Hope, the whole thing. So
luckily, that little actress is phenomenal.
She's great.
So it is fun to watch her.
Great.
And I am such a Leia fan, and I'm not as big of a Star Wars person as you
Yeah.
are. So I enjoy watching her, and I enjoy the fact that she ain't no narc.
No, she's not, and or rat. She's not a rat
No.
either. But O'Shea Jackson Jr. I thought was great in this episode. I thought, what's her name? Oh shoot, I always mess it up. But she was in Rome and Game of Thrones.
Oh, she's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
She says
Adina,
the thing about Sir.
Adira Varma, Indira Varma, who plays Tala. I think she's great on the show.
Bomb.
So they still have those 2 episodes to wrap up at the end. If I was to rank the shows at the moment, not including animated, just the live action shows, I would go Mandalorian season 2, Mandalorian season 1, Obi-Wan, and then Boba Fett. That's the way I would rank them at the moment. I don't think anything touches Mandalorian right now, because Mandalorian feels like there are a couple times that it feels like TV, but it really feels like cinematic, like the way that it's shot. It feels the most connected to the original trilogy. There was a lot of stuff in episode 4, Obi-Wan, that felt very television.
Episode 3, though, was maybe my favorite Star Wars TV episode.
It's up there. I would put that and the Boba Fett episode with Luke and Grogu. That's a pretty great one too. But I agree.
And a lot of Mando episodes were really great.
Yeah, episode 3 of Obi-Wan was incredible. I was not on the same page with some people who thought there was a lot of problems with it and everything. That one was great.
It was so cool to watch.
It was great. It was a lot of fun, and I think and Vader was menacing. I think that, as you asked me, my problem right now is that they set up so well at the end of episode 2. Okay, there's Vader in the tank. He's coming. And then episode 3, he's there. And in episode 4, he shows up for like a second. And he's just like with Reva. Okay, you little trickster. Where do I go now? And it's like, now put Vader in charge of everything. Now let him be the guy that's going after it too. We set up Reva really nice. And I said this in the beginning, I think they did a disservice to the actress and to the character of Reva, because this is such a big story that we want to see with Obi-Wan and Vader. And it didn't matter who it is. If you put in this character that nobody really knows, you're asking them to put on a lot of weight on their shoulder, because you're asking us to care more about that character, no matter who it is, than you are about Obi-Wan and Vader.
And Leia, I guess, too.
Yeah.
So, but what was wild for me, because I don't follow Star Wars Twitter at all, because you know me, I'm a casual fan. I've seen everything, but I don't deep dive.
Yeah.
And so I just really liked her. And I had no idea of any of the drama. I was like, I like this new character. And then Steph kind of informed me. I was like, whoa, I missed it all. But for me, the character worked. Yeah. So maybe it is more. Maybe her character is more for the Mies.
But it's not. See, but the thing is, it's not necessarily the character too. I think that, and this is not her fault. And as much I love Deborah Chow. I mean, like I love. You know how I've been raving about Deborah Chow. I don't think she's being directed very well in that first, at least in the first couple episodes. I think she overcooked. I think she's better in the last 2, but she overcooked being angry. She overcooked being like, it was just too much. Like, you've got to be vicious. You've got to be me. And it's like, and we know where the character's going. They set it up from the opening scene of what happens in episode 1 of the show. But I don't know. Like I said, I do like the show, and it's not one of these things where I'm just like, I'm not like, when I saw Last Jedi, I saw that movie the first time, and I remember people saying, "Well, you haven't tweeted? You haven't done?" I'm like, I'm trying to process what the hell I just saw.
You haven't tweeted.
And then,
what's wrong?
And then
I
know you're right. And then I saw it, and I kind of try to Kool-Aid it myself and convince myself. I'm like, oh, it's a good Star Wars movie. And I when I watched it, as you rewatch it, and I still stand by it, it's one of the best made Star Wars. Best made films. It's not the best. It's not a good Star Wars movie in my opinion, but it's a very well made film when you watch it. And I think that that's where I kind of convinced myself for a bit. And then the more and more I watch it, the less and less I liked it. I rewatched Obi-Wan.
That's a bummer.
It is. I really dislike that movie. Like it's hard for me to watch. But
do you like it more or less than Jurassic World Dominion?
I can't really compare the two.
But if you had to.
I mean, again, compared as a film, there's no comparison. Last Jedi was a way better film overall. You can't. I mean, that's just that being. It's a better film. It's what I would enjoy watching more. I mean, again, I probably Jurassic World Dominion.
No fucking
as far as again, if I had to watch it again, because I know it's just mindless flop as opposed to
Like, it doesn't make you angry.
but it's not. It would just make me angry. The movie. It's just I know that none of it lines up to anything. Like the at least with Jurassic World Dominion, they're trying to line up some stupid story that happened in Fallen Kingdom. Everything is just kind of a mess because there was no direction. But that's a whole other story. My point is, I went back and watched Obi-Wan with the first episode with my daughter. I really enjoy it, and there's nothing that I'm going to say inside of that. There's not like that kind of conflict going, do I like that thing because of this and that, and how do I really feel about it? I know that it's just, and even people can scream and yell about what they like and don't like. I like the series. I just hope that the last 2 episodes really focuses on Vader and Obi-Wan, because I don't think it will. I
hope that too.
I don't think it will. I think it's gonna. I think it's gonna lean into more so. He sent Reva to go and track him. She's gonna wind up
Flipping.
whatever it is, discovering that we're gonna learn more about her story, about why she's hunting after Obi-Wan in the first place and all this stuff, and then she's gonna turn good the same way that we did in what happened in Fallen Order. There's something that happens similar with Inquisitor, and it's gonna be the same thing, and I'm gonna be, yeah, well, we knew that was coming, and hopefully the second fight with them is like where you go, all right, well, who cares? That second fight was fantastic.
Yeah.
So,
So is this probably everybody knows, but this is 2 seasons, do you think? Or
well,
is it going to...
so it was supposed to just be a limited series.
That's what I thought.
But before it even came out, because of the hype around it, Kathleen Kennedy and even Ewan McGregor started hinting that it could be a second season. And it's crushing on ratings, as it should.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's crushing. The first episode of Obi-Wan was the most streamed any Disney Plus show ever. Yeah. Wow. So, it's crushing. So you could understand why it would be, because it goes back to the difference between streaming and film. If you put out a movie, like you put Last Jedi out, which was divisive, we can't, whether you liked it or not.
I did.
Yeah, right. But it's divisive. You can't. I mean, there's no doubt about it, and it caused a lot of friction in between the people who loved it and people who didn't. And some people say that one of the many things wrong with the release of Solo, whether it's the marketing, a month after Infinity War, all the stuff, one of those variables was the fact that it was also released 3 or 4 months after The Last Jedi, right? So people who didn't want to see it because of The Last Jedi are going, I'm not spending my money on that.
Yeah.
The same people who don't like this show for whatever reasons, right? And they have a subscription to Disney Plus and they're not canceling it, they're going to watch all the shows that come out. They're going to watch Andor. They're going to watch whatever the Mandalorian season 3, unless they've canceled their subscriptions altogether. It doesn't seem like that's happening. Why wouldn't you if you're paying for it? It's like, well, I'll check it out. Even if you're going to hate watch it, is a difference between going to spend your money at the theater if you're already spending money and your credit card's getting billed for the thing. That's the difference between streaming, and that's the difference why these shows will keep getting made and why there could potentially be a season 2. But I don't think people hate this the same way that they hate Last Jedi. I hope it delivers really well. Because of the other thing I said to you many times over, the difference between movies, like Last Jedi, you had to wait 3 years or 2 years before, and for people, and a lot of people didn't like Rise of Skywalker anyway, but 2 years you have to wait for a film before you can just stew in that stink. If you didn't like this Chapter 4, then Chapter 5 comes out, and if you love it, 1 week washed away. Mm-hmm. And that's the beauty of streaming.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree. I feel like that was the overall consensus, at least from what I saw after episode 3. People who hadn't loved 1 and 2 were like, no, the show is great. And now after episode 4, it's kind of like wishy-washy again.
Yeah, and I think that's and if they next week comes out, they got to, like I said, I love the character of Leia. I love the little girl playing her. Let's focus on Obi-Wan and Vader for 2 episodes. If we can do that, like a 2-hour movie, this 30-minute thing, it's
really short last night.
It was. It's a disservice, man. It's a disservice. I think that they should start making these episodes longer. Stranger Things did it right. 1:15.
I don't know.
You don't think so?
I love Stranger Things,
Yeah.
but I almost would have rathered 8-hour episodes as opposed to 7. Some of them were like an hour and a half.
Really?
Christian.
Yeah, I know, but I loved it.
It's for me. I don't ever. I think you're more used to this because you have kids and a wife, and you have to go do things.
Yeah.
When I sit down to watch something, I watch the whole thing.
Okay.
So when something's an hour and a half, like it's like
So you binged
committing
it?
to a movie. Yeah.
Wow.
I binged the whole thing, and I was just like, whoa.
I
baby.
talked about this on my show the other day too, though, that I think that Netflix did this and I can remember us talking about this on Collider Live, and I don't remember where you stood on it at the time, but I can tell you that, and I think you posed the question actually, but you asked, would you rather binge or would you rather watch weekly? And at the time, I'm 100% confident that I said I want to binge, no matter what. I have changed my tune dramatically.
Yeah, well, but as times change, and you're allowed to, that's the point. They're supposed to keep up with the times. At that time, I had said, I like Hulu's model of drop 3 and then weekly.
Yeah.
I like a few, and then
Disney Plus has been doing 2 and then weekly.
And I think that's good. I want more than one to start, but then please don't give me 7 episodes that are an hour and a half all at once, because if I'm covering that, and not just if I'm covering that, if I'm a fan of that and I don't want it to get spoiled or anything, that is a big chunk of your life, and then I don't remember it in a year.
That's a year. Try like a month.
I know.
And the thing is that and Netflix, though, when they did that, remember, 3 years ago for streaming series, minus streaming series, not including cable, Netflix was the only game in town.
It was it.
That was it. So they could do House of Cards and all these shows and jump them on Netflix and binge them all.
Orange is the New Black, yeah.
Dump them and put them all, because everybody's talking about them. Everybody would binge them, even if it was the course of a weekend, right? That they would do it. And I remember at Collider, like they would drop Stranger Things and people would watch them all and then we'd talk about it. But now
it is
because there's so much content and people are watching Deepwater, but there's so much content on the different streaming platforms that it's the first time that Stranger Things has ever dropped. That we were on set doing Schmodown over the past weekend, and every single person I was talking to about Stranger Things, I didn't talk to you about it, but every single person I was talking to about Stranger Things was like, oh yeah, I'm on episode 3. I'm on episode 4. There had been nobody that I talked to, again, I didn't speak to Roxy, but there was nobody I talked to on that day that had watched the whole thing and binged it.
Yeah.
I think that Netflix, because everyone who I have heard talk about Stranger Things loves it.
Yeah, it's really good. It
Loves
is really good. Have you heard what Netflix is thinking about?
About the ads?
Yeah, the ads, and also possibly switching over to weekly.
They should.
They're
I
already
think that
doing
they should.
it. Do you watch any of their non-scripted stuff? Either of you guys, like The Circle or
No, I've
Love
seen
is
The Circle.
Blind or any of that stuff? The way they do their episodes for a lot of it is they drop 4 episodes, then a week later they drop 4 more episodes, and then a week later they drop their finale. And that seems to be a cool way for them to do it in little chunks. I still prefer a chunk and then weekly, but 3 different drops with chunks, I'm good with that too.
Yeah.
Just don't give me all of it at once.
Nah.
I'm too gluttonous.
They could not with Stranger Things though, because that's how they started it, right?
That's how they
As soon
started.
as
But if they start, I mean, now when because I think it's not final season, but for this season, the last 2 episodes, just drop them and then whatever it is.
Why
but
are they doing it like that?
I don't know why
Is
they're
it a
doing
COVID
it, but
thing?
no idea. But what I would tell you is that for that show, because that show is so popular for the last season, look at The Boys. Boys does weekly.
Holy shit, The Boys is so good.
Yeah.
Can one of you guys sack up and watch?
I'm going. It's on my list to do. I promise you. And the other thing, by the way, is like The Offer. Have you started watching The Offer yet?
No.
So The Offer's another
it's
one.
good.
I love it. And you know what's so funny about that show is that every single person I've been talking to about The Offer, and I've been raving about it on this show, obviously, and telling everyone about it. And then I saw the critics, and it's like 46% or something, whatever, too. Every single person I've told about it that has watched it going, what the hell are the critics talking about? This show's
Really?
awesome. I told my brother about it. He watched it, loved it. There's tons of people who just started watching it who love it. Man, people have told about it on this show who said, yeah, I took your word for it and checked it out. Can't stop watching it. Now there's like 7 episodes up on now. You can binge it, but it comes out weekly. My wife and I are like, that's the one show my wife and I just don't miss when it comes out. It drops on Thursdays, and I'm trying to get Dan Fogler on the show. He's in the UK right now, but I think that I'm going to get him on to talk about it.
I guess I'll watch.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, if you have Paramount Plus, you would really like it.
I honestly was deterred by the fact that you're the only person I know who said that they were watching it, and then I looked online and it's getting slammed
By critics.
Yeah, critics
Not
suck,
by fans.
bro. Yeah,
Fans love it.
fuck the critics.
Yeah, I'm telling you, people. And
They need to sack up.
What's the audience score? I want to see what the audience score is on The Offer. That's what I'm going to check.
You
out
said
right
to watch The Offer. Roxy said to watch Severance, so naturally I watched Severance.
That makes sense.
And he loved it.
I loved it.
She is the TV person, so.
Oh my
Look at that.
God.
I just
Look at
don't
the
have
difference. Hold
Paramount
on.
Plus
I'm going
either.
to play this. I'm gonna show.
I'm gonna play this.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna show the audience.
Play it.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it.
Play the tape. Roll the tape.
This is, to me, a legit audience score here. Here you go. Check this out.
You should go on your friend's Rotten
Look at that.
Tomatoes is wrong.
Wow.
50% for the critics, 96% for the
Can you
audience.
tell me why you think critics are hating it?
I don't know if it's an accuracy thing. I don't really. I mean, I think that they said some of the things aren't accurate. I don't know. I don't really. Let's see a couple of the reviews and what they say and how much I disagree with them. Some of the reviews. Well, where's the audience? That's not the audience. This is the actual critics themselves. Some of the things that they say. Where are there even any?
I don't know. Maybe go up to
hell's
see
going on?
score details.
Trying to find it. Trying to figure it
Maybe
out.
unplug it, plug it back in.
Yeah, I know.
Did you
right?
blow on it?
Restart. I know. That's what she said. All right, so where is?
And she was that broad.
That
That's
broad.
I don't know why I can't. Is that it? Maybe. I'm going to give it one more shot.
Oh, yeah,
Here we go.
okay.
Okay.
All right.
So this is the.
Those are all good ones.
These
though.
are all the
I
good
need
ones.
bad
Here's the
ones.
negative. Viewers would be better off watching the Godfather saga, as it's better use of their time and it's far more entertaining than the entirety of the series.
That is the least helpful thing ever, though.
Disagree. I mean, there's a full review in there, too. If The Godfather was masterful and precise, despite its famously harrowed production, The Offer is amateurish and messy because of the way it uses surefire assets. Disagree. The Offer certainly didn't have Coppola's blessing, and I hope this wasn't the reason behind his problematic portrayal. Is shown not as angsty new Hollywood artist, but as a comedic buffoon. Disagree. He absolutely does not come off as a comedic buffoon at all. At all. I think that Dan Folger is doing
What is that
great.
Melanie one? I just see all capitals.
It deserves credit for elevating my overall esteem for The Godfather. At one point in my viewings of Coppola's epic was, oh my God, who cares? Disagree. So I disagree with all of these people, every one of them. And what I would also say, as far as the who cares part of it,
You care.
no, but I know what she's going for there, and that's there's a lot of side adventures that are happening throughout the show. It's a television show. If it was a movie, then I agree. It's like, come on, why are we going through? They set up all of these characters. Matthew Good, it's so funny. I become more and more of a fan every time Matthew Good, like when he first appeared, I think it was, saw him in Watchmen. I didn't think he was great. And then there was this other movie he was in with Nicole Kidman that people loved, and Alice and I couldn't stand it.
I can't even picture who you're talking about.
Matthew Good, you'll recognize him when you see him. But he plays Bob Evans. He is phenomenal in this show. Miles Teller is great in this show. Dan Fogler, one of the best things he's done in a while. So many great performances in this show. It's one of my favorite shows that I've seen in a while. I really enjoy watching it. So I think that more people should check it out. And I'm glad that it seems like I said, 96% of the audience. You recognize him?
Yeah.
So
I actually think that last week you mentioned him, and I think I did that exact
same thing. You'll probably do it again next week. So is there anything else that we haven't discussed? And we talked about a lot. We talked about Jurassic World, obviously. We talked about, and Top Gun is destroying at the box office. Did you see it yet?
I haven't, but I've heard a couple not so great reviews
From who?
people.
From idiots.
I guess they're idiots. No, I just not like and I think they may have been overhyped, but I don't think I will fall in that.
No. You won't. So
because it'll be the first thing I've seen in the theater.
You better go see it soon, man.
for next week, you have to either start Severance,
The Boys,
or see Everything Everywhere All at Once.
All right, one of those three
things.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine.
And
fine.
I will do The Offer.
You'll do The Offer.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I watched the first episode of Pachenko last night. If that's
What's that?
It's a show that everybody was talking about.
Oh.
Who's
everybody? Not everybody I know.
You taught me that actually.
Oh.
It's actually a very helpful life lesson that you taught me at
What
one
is that?
point. Do you remember that?
No, tell me.
That you shouldn't say everybody when it's not everybody.
Well, you didn't listen to it too much because you
No,
just did it.
no, because this really was like all
Yeah.
the critics that I was
Okay.
talking to. I first heard about it from Wendy and then Steph,
Okay.
just people who watch
Yeah.
a lot of the Apple shows, but not everybody. I did listen to it, it's just a little slow for me right now. Like
Okay.
I need that fast.
Oh, I
content.
think I know.
You know what I'm talking about?
Pachenko. You know the only reason I know what it is because for some reason, and this is way before this show even came out. My daughter was calling my dog Pachenko. And she was going, Pachenko.
How
And
come?
who knows? She calls him 75 different nicknames, so she's calling him Pachenko. And one day there was like a newspaper that was put on, or a Variety or whatever it was, that was put on the doorstep. And it said Pachenko, and we started laughing. Hey, Pachenko, and that's
what it was?
what it is. That's what it is. So I
have a
heard of it.
Pachenko machine hanging. Is it about the gaming, the gambling thing, Pachenko, or is it completely different?
I actually don't know if I could even answer that after the first episode.
We don't know yet.
It was really, really tough to. It's also subtitles or no. I was watching it, but I was like, wow, there's a lot. It's
rough.
4 generations, and people say it's great, so I'm going to try to stick with it. I'm switching to The Offer.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we left out. We talked about Ms. Marvel.
Oh, I know what we left out.
What we leave out?
We left out the trailer.
Oh, Black Adam.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we can talk about that. It's so funny. You guys both jumped on to watch it. I said I watched it. I didn't need you guys to watch it.
Oh,
but it's fine.
Well, you
both
said
watched
it at the top of the show.
Watch it, you
Yeah, I just said I
assholes.
was watching it. What do you think about the trailer, Black Adam?
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
I've been waiting. You
7
put
years,
together
8 years.
DC movie news, Kristian. You put that together in 2015.
Yeah.
Okay, at that point, The Rock was signed on.
Yes.
So I've been talking about this for fucking 7 years.
Long time.
It's crazy.
What'd you think about it, Brett?
No, I mean, it looks like a fun little romp.
Someone did say though it looks like The Rock playing a superhero. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
What do you expect?
That's fine. But I did think, and it's not that I'm any much deterred from seeing the movie after this, but like I did think he was going to be a bad guy throughout the whole thing. But he's definitely more of a hero who doesn't get. He's more like Hancock. Remember Hancock?
Yeah,
He's an
He's
anti-hero.
an anti-hero.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. But I liked the trailer.
Yeah.
Some people thought that it was a little goofy. I don't know. I liked it. I'm curious to see it when it comes out. But then the last thing, Ms. Marvel, the way that I summed it up, Rocks for Ms. Marvel, was when I saw the trailer, I said, this show looks like, it is geared for 12 to 18-year-old girls. And it looks like a Scott Pilgrim type of show with a really fun performance that doesn't necessarily seem aimed towards me, but it could be fun to watch. Yeah. And it's exactly what it was.
Exactly what it is.
It's
Yeah.
exactly what it was. And it is, I enjoy, I think she is incredible.
Amon, she's
amazing. She is so much fun. She is so likable.
She's 19 years old.
Is she really?
She looks about 13.
Yeah, and
show.
she does, and she's so likable. It's a sweet show, but I can understand if somebody goes, well, this isn't necessarily for me.
Yeah.
I would not recommend this to my friends.
Right.
I still really liked it.
You'd recommend it to my 10-year-old.
I would absolutely recommend it to your kid. Yeah.
Right, and that's okay though. And be like, well, why can't I watch it? No one says you can't. You should absolutely watch it. If you watch, a show that this is a very well made show. It's a fun show. It is geared towards kids that are like pre-teens, teens.
It's a great entry point to superheroes in Marvel.
Yeah, and people always, well, what about Spider-Man? Spider-Man was high school teenager too. It was done a little differently though too. The way that Spider-Man was also introduced in Civil War was he was introduced as one of the Avengers kind of right away. You know, even though he was still a kid, and they said it in the high school era. This is scaled down more for a high school, preteen generation. And
You
I
don't
think
even
that's
think younger,
smart.
like 8? I don't know kids, but I thought
Maybe
that this would go young.
I am going to watch this with my daughter because she's never watched a single Marvel movie yet, and we were planning on doing a whole Marvel watch. But I might even start her with this.
Yeah, that would be
I
a
think
good.
great
I might
entry.
even start her with it. I mean, she doesn't necessarily need to be. She'll know who Ms. Marvel, Captain Marvel is eventually through the thing. But like, they don't require you to watch anything.
Nothing.
No. So anyway,
Did she finish Ozark? Or
was
daughter?
my daughter? Yeah, she loved it. Loved it.
I'm so far behind. I'm like, what have I seen lately?
Are
I'm
you
like,
being serious?
I finished Miss Maisel.
Did you?
And every time you said Miss
Yeah.
Maisel, I'm like,
Vivian liked Ozark, so it was pretty good.
yeah.
What?
I don't know how old kids are allowed to be to watch things.
She
I
didn't
don't
want-
understand.
No, of course she's too young to
I
watch
don't know.
Ozark.
I don't know. I don't get it.
She is, and she's actually laundering now.
Yeah.
She's doing great. She probably should see. That's the problem. Is my daughter's smart enough? She would probably start learning how to do it. Anyway, listen, it was a good show today. It's a fun show today.
Great job, team.
Good job. So go watch Deep Water. Enjoy it for yourselves, and let me know what you think of the first season of Peg Boys. All right, everybody.
Making mama proud.
That's right.
On
So
the daily.
don't forget, everybody, subscribe, will you? Roxy, like that new subscribe
I
page?
really do.
Subscribe, like, and share. Do all that. We like you. Hopefully you like us. We'll see you on the flip side. Comment, will you? All right, good.